Move initiated yesterday, okay? Finding systems that help you think less and make you more productive. Decision-making process. Conserve your energy to use the best energy for the right things. Move on faster from disappointments and setbacks. Define hard work rather than I'm working so hard because I'm at the office, I'm on Instagram all day. You ain't working hard. Compete up instead of competing down. Not being afraid of competing with people that are above you. These guys were not afraid. Venus is being interviewed at the time. Monica Seles was number one. He says, are you afraid that you're going to face a number one player in the world, Monica Seles? No. Do you think you can beat her? If I play the way I play at my best, I can beat Monica Seles. Can you imagine a 13-year-old girl saying something like that? Look at the mindset on how it's been shaped, right? It has to matter to you. So I'm sitting, I'm looking at these numbers and incomes, and then I go through old business planning and I see this. Reasons why people quit on you. Number one, they stop believing that they can do this business and be successful. You're no longer duplicatable, and there's no leadership. Low confidence, low self-esteem. Number two, why do people quit? They forgot the original reason why they got into the business and undertook this venture. You're no longer selling the dream or the crusade. Know why. Number three, the business starts to look and sound like a job. It's no longer fun. I've told Mario, we were talking the other day with Kai, I said, in the last 20 years, anytime I've exploded, the top 5 most important qualities that I've done at that time, fun has always been in the top 5. Never number 1, never number 2, never number 3, but always in the top 5. If I'm not having fun, we're not exploding. And by the way, that's not anybody else's fault. It's your fault to not make the business fun. You know, last night till 1:30 in the morning, what stories we were talking about outside while having cigars? All the different pranks we've pulled. We were laughing so hard. We were laughing straight 2-3 hours last night. Cracking up. People were laughing so hard that there was tears coming down people's eyes. Fun, okay? Number 4, they see the person ahead of them and they are not inspired, impressed, and really don't care to get there because there's no vision. Then it goes in and says, okay, marketing directors' mistakes. They stop doing what they did to become an MD. They cease to be coachable themselves. They start getting creative with the system, not in alignment with successful leadership. They don't get an assistant. They fail to establish team pride, ego, and identity. They take vacations outside of the company trips. No consistency in performance. Don't leverage leadership or big events. Don't have spouses involved. I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. Who do we have right now that fully understands that we are going to build the biggest builders this industry's ever seen? The biggest builders this industry's ever. I've said this from day one, by the way. This is not a new thing I'm saying to you. Ever. And I'm looking to find that Vargas have told me, Pat, I'm telling you, it's us. So far, Vargas is, if they win Fall Madness and if they win Net VP, and they just became the first ever to do 100 recruits and 100,000 point base shop 11 months in a row, that's a bonus. And they've promoted the most direct MDs, that's a bonus. If they do all of that, become the first $2 million earner, score the most equity points this year, I'm sorry, they're becoming the face. They're becoming the face. So now I started looking at some numbers, and I want to show you some of these numbers to go through this with you. So let's take a look at these numbers here. This is cash flow since August 13th. Councils, that's what it's looking like right now. Okay, at the bottom is Sanchez, then it's Kenyanelli, then it's Gaines, Del Valle. Gaines, you got to increase this. Del Valle, Cobos, Donna Kilroy. They were on track to make $650, $750. They got to $700,000. Super casual. Again, they didn't drive to want to get $750 knocked out of the way. Graziani, then it's Alejandro, then it's Hart, then it's Phelps, then it's Del Toro, then it's Mason. $295. 2 times more than Graziani, 3 times almost more than Donna Kilroy, 3 times more than Del Valle, 3 times more than Gaines, 5 times nearly of Kehendi. John has made more money since August, whatever it is, than Kehendi's made the last 12 months. Then it's Palayo. He had a shot at being $2 million. Then it's Gaitan. Then it's Vargas. Then it's Ricky and Erica, $400,000. Then it's Sapalas, $461. You look at VPs, Terrace at the top. Then it's Mackey's. Then it's Pimber. Then it's Musgrove, Castro, Roger and Brenda, Ote, Marroquin, Vic and Anna, Suazo. Marroquins are out earning Suazos and Okafor. Then Polarencia, then the rest. SMD, EMD. Corman at the top. You know what team? Hart. Blessing at the second place. You know whose team? Palayo. Then Sikas, 85. Almost as much as Gaines has made. Sikas. Dennis Norian Lorena, nobody knew this, 4th place. Alan and Alicia, 5th place. Fernanda and Guillermo Lugo, 6th place. Then it's Zaldo. Then it's, by the way, this shows that they're better builders. Del Valle are better builders than Mason because they have other earners. It's just the truth, John. Then it's Zaldo, then it's Oriana, then it's Iroesi, then it's Solis, then it's Chad, then it's Nieves. You got the rest of the names here. You can go down is what we got, okay? So now, MDs, Said at the top. Then it's Iris and Enoch, Bruno, McGowan, Nazario, Dean Mason, Castillo, Artega, Cardenas, Hiram Travis. Do you see these names? These are the numbers I'm looking at. FYI, Million Point Base Shop, let's see who's on track. I follow these numbers so closely, okay? Ricky and Eric at the top, 1.91. They're about to be the first 2 million point base shop ever. Vargas says they could potentially do it, but they're telling me they're going to do it, depending on how they close out next 2 months. Then it's Hart, 3rd place. Then it's Sapalas, 4th place. Phelps are about to become million point base shop. John is about to become. Gaetan's could be. Del Toro's could. Sanchez could. It doesn't look like she will. I don't see a lot of urgency unless if Jose Marlin can do something there. But then it's Gaines, 806. They could. Will they? I don't know. Dana Killor could have, but they're falling behind. Then it's Palayo. Graziani said he was going to run a million point base shop. He's got 325 to go. Candian Ellie, Del Valle, Cobos, Alejandro at the bottom for councils. For VPs, you got Musgrove done, Suazo's done, Ote's done, Mackey's done. All is MSM, FYI. Then it's Marroquin. Then it's Okafor, El Janet, Benny, Vic and Anna, Terrace, Rodriguez, Pembroke Castro, Sabatimani, Garcia's. On the SMDMD side, William and Beatrice done. Then it's Base. They're about to do it. Had a good call with them. Excited about them becoming VPs. Marcelo and Gabby right there. Oriana's right there. Sika's right there. Blessing could run it. Alan and Alicia could run it. Campos could run it. Zaldo could run it. Even these guys could run it, right? Then we go over here. Karina and Jesus Ustaita at the top. Then it's Bruno, Enoch. I look at all of these. Now watch this. Watch this. Let's go to some of the other things. And I'm looking at recruiting here. Watch these numbers, how interesting this is when you look at this. Remember, this is from August 13th, the moment everybody left the big event. The number 1 net VP recruiter is Vargas. Number 1 production is Sapala. Number 2 is Vargas. And number 1 licensing is Vargas. Not by a little bit, by quite a lot there. That's not a small distance. That's 51 more licensing than Sapala's. Okay, that's 30% more than Sapala's at that time. Number 2 recruiting net VP is Sapala's. Gaines is coming up. Then it's Gaetan, Palayo, Ricky and Erica, Hart, Del Toro, all these names, and Marroquin. Now watch this. Ricky and Erica have nearly double the amount of recruiting of Marroquin. Fantastic. But watch this. Marroquin is licensed 8 more in their net than Ricky and Erica, okay? And Marroquins are only 12 licenses behind Hart's. They're about to pass up all of EIB in licensing. They're only 2 away. Can you imagine that? And Del Toro's entire net, they're only 6 behind Del Toro's. More than Mackey's, more than Musgrove, more than Del Valle, more than Mason, more than Sanchez, more than Suazo. They're nearly doubling Suazo. So if you look at these numbers are telling a story, right? They're telling a story. Now they got to produce better CFTs. They got to place the business better. All of that stuff they got to work on. But they're gradually coming up. You know what organization they represent? Vargas. We'll see if they'll stay hungry. And we'll see what they'll do. Now Hart is right behind some big names. Hart could pass up a Gaetan. He could pass up some of these other guys that are behind him. So that I go and I look at captains in one area. And let me tell you what I wanted to find out about. Because again, stick around because I got one other last message before we wrap up. Personal recruit since August 13th. Look at this. Vargas at the top 72. Surprised? 3 times more than Sapala's. Then it's Del Valle, then it's Ricky and Erica, Ken and Palayo. Gaines, Hart, Mason, Alejandro. These are all double digits, now single digits. Cobos, Feldman, and Kilroy, Gaetan, Del Toro, Sanchez, Graziani at the bottom. Graziani, they had a good run for about 90 days, but personal recruits are down. It's tough to run a million point base shop if you don't go wide and just rely on NCLs. That's been the biggest challenge there. Hopefully that'll change. I don't know if it will. Again, hopefully it'll change. But look at this here. TGA, 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 TGA. Everybody is on the same place. They're with TGA. And this is why they are passing them up. You know, Vargas has more directs than Ricky and Erica, than Alejandro, than Gaetan. All of the TGA VPs combined, Vargas has had more directs than all of TGA's VPs combined in direct. Vargas have already passed up Gaetan. The numbers just haven't caught up yet. You go to VPs, Okafor, 34. Then it's Musgrove, then it's Mackey, Marroquin Mackey, all the way down to, you see what these numbers are at. If you don't go wide, you don't get directs, it's just going to be very hard to compete. Okay, then you got SMDs, EMDs, Lugo's at the top, then it's Solis, Lomeli, Marcelo, and Gabby. Sikas, then you see here Said at 167 record. Then you got the rest of the camp. Look at Sofia and Paymon. Ever since they're in Houston, they're going wider and they're getting directs. And if we go on personal production, look who's at the top. Highest, Vargas's. By the way, Vargas's have outproduced all of MDs, SMD, EMDs, VPs, and councils leaving the big event. You know what it tells you? They wanted to prove a point. They tripled in personal production of what Sheena and Matt have done since then. By the way, Sheena, that's a solid number for Sheena and Matt. But they don't want to just beat them. They want to dominate. I think Vargas's truly are in the mode of wanting to dominate. They're dominating here, that's 3x. They're dominating here, that's 3x. Then it's Mason, then Phelps, Candianelli, Hart, Sapalas, Alejandro Palayo, Del Valle, Graziani, Gaines, Ricky and Erica. Uh-oh, do you see that? Uh-oh. That number used to be higher. Then it's Gaitan, not field training, Del Toro. Look at this again. TGA, 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 okay? TGA, you can get upset at videos like this, but I don't control your numbers. Only you do. You choose to go wide. You choose the right person production. That's not my job. That's your job, right? Terrace at the top. Then it's Musgrove, Mackey, Okafor, Pimbarote, Sabatimani, Castro, Marroquin, Suazo, Gianmeni, Roger, Benal, Garza, Vic, and Anna. Anna, you know you're better than that. You're a closer. Sikas at the top. Then it's Carla, Mitra, Marcel, and Gabby Corman, Blessing. You see the names. And over here, Said, boom, 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 boom. Okay? If I go look at urgency, leaving, licensing, good for Ricky and Erica. They got their licensing up 34. They're number one above everybody, including Vargas's. Then it's Apalas, Hart, Mason, Palayo, Gaines, Sanchez, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So Musgrove's at the top with licensing. Wanda and Rashawn are at the top for licensing. Then it's Iris and Enoch. And the rest of the production, you can pretty much see Hearts are coming up. They want to compete. And on the recruiting side, you see who's there. The top three names, you see Ricky and Erica, Hart, Vargas. Ricky and Erica, Hart, Vargas. Notice how it's exact because it's a reflection of this is what they're doing, okay? Marroquin at the top, Musgrove at the top, Marroquin second place. Suazo second here, but production they're fifth. And then SMDS, EMD, Sikas, top, Said, top. These are the numbers that we're looking at, right? So let me close this and go back to my last message here before I wrap up. Look, you guys are at a point right now where you have to realize that we're officially in distraction season for the rest of the year, okay? I was looking at one of the notes for me to find, and is where are the leaks in your boat? Should be ship, but where are the leaks in your ship? And I remember we used to train on this, mastering the invitation leaks. Some people have invitation leaks, captain system leaks, interview leaks, 8-speed filter leaks, team builder leaks, CFT leaks. There's leaks, culture leaks, excitement leaks, fun leaks. Where are your leaks with where you are with your business? Because I'm just letting everybody know the culture we've created, the standards and expectation we've created, the comp structure we've created, the equity program we've created, all of that is accessible to everybody. All of it is accessible to everybody. But only a few people are going to take that and say, I want to be the King Richard and raise incredible leaders. Look, some of you guys are watching this right now. Some of you guys are saying, Pat, I have no desire to be or whatever, you know, King Richard and all this stuff. If you're saying it because you fully mean it, fine. If you're saying it because you don't want the responsibility, there's a name for that from the movie Back to the Future. You know what that name is? Remember what that name is? The one thing Marty didn't like. What was that one name? Chicken. Maybe you're a chicken. Okay? You're afraid to give your best because you know you got the goodies to raise the standards, but you're afraid. Maybe you're a little bit of a chicken. You're scared. It's not important to me, but you know deep down inside it is. But you don't want it to say it because if you do, you're going to be held accountable by everybody, and that scares the crap out of you. This guy declared his intention, boom, backed it up. They make a movie about him, and who stars it? Will Flippin' Smith is in the movie, playing you. Think about that. So what are you going to do with your standards? You're going to raise it? You're going to set a new standard? Some of you guys are watching and saying, Pat, I don't want to do that. No problem. Cindy Colbo's got a great life. $600,000 a year income. 550, 600. She just bought a brand new white Bentley sedan. Ridiculous. I remember when Cindy couldn't afford to buy a freaking BMX bike when she made $36 in a month. And I asked her to quit. And she would cry and say, I'm not going to quit. And she stuck around. Some of you guys have to make a decision to go on a run to land a few MDs that will buy into this language, hopefully, and raise their standards more than you. It's a little bit of risk there because you're relying on somebody to raise their standards more than you and not follow your example. But some of you guys will get lucky. There's nothing wrong with that. Totally okay with that. Some of you guys are in a season right now where you're sitting there by yourself saying, I'd love to master something in my life. I just love to be the best at something in my life. Yesterday, Dean and them are walking around the house. I'm showing them around all this stuff. We're on the jet skis, the boats in the back, the Ferrari's there. John shows up with his white convertible Huracan, what do you call it, Lamborghini. And I say, you see this whole life? He says, yes. I said, I was a trainee just like everybody else. And I built a team just like everybody else. But I was not willing to compromise my vision of what I wanted PHP to be, my life to be, the Ben David family to be, and how much I wanted to be a soldier for the man upstairs for this great country that we're a part of called America. That mattered a lot to me. Pride. I got pride in my country, in my last name, in my heritage, and in the company we built together, and the people that chose to buy into this crusade that we started with PHP. You. I have pride in you. That's why I'm here today. I don't need to be here today. I don't need another $200 million. I love this game. I love it. I fully love this game. And I just want to identify the people that want to take their business to the next level where one day somebody wants to write about you, your family, your last name, what you did, and you become a king maker. Whenever you become a king maker, you're automatically a king. This guy's name is what? King Richard. But you don't become a king if you're not a king maker. The only way you get qualified to be called a king is when you build so many different kings. I want to see the most incredible builders show up to raise the standards with their performance, and the rest is history. And one day we look back in your $20 million home with the cars parked outside and a contribution to different political parties and presidents and governors and senators, and you're sitting on all these boards, and we say, holy freaking moly, look what we did. And we're somewhere in Monaco having a great time together. But yeah, so a little bit tough of a video to watch, but you may want to go back and watch the beginning 15, 20 minutes again. If you're a VP watching this or an SMD, EMD, don't wait for your MDs to watch this video. Send it to them ASAP. If you have a counselor or VP that's your upline, you may want to text them this video and say, did you watch this video? Don't be scared. Some of you guys are too scared of your uplines. Say, did you watch this video? Okay, I just watched it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about taking this thing to the next level. Check, push the envelope, okay? Lead respectfully, okay? Respect your peers. But at the same time, some tells me today's message probably resonated with some of you, not all of you. I'm expecting to get a few direct messages from some of you guys. 5 people are going to get this today, shipped to them. You know who the 5 are? The top 5 recruiting-based shops today. You know what the tiebreaker is? Personal recruits. But 5 of you guys are going to get this shipped over to you, okay? Top 5 recruiting-based shops, day after Thanksgiving. We'll have those 5 send over to them. And for the number 1, I'll send 2 more. Number 1 will get 3. Everybody else will get 1, but you got to be in the top 5 if you watch this whole thing. And by the way, if you are